This is Matt here, and today I've got a build for you that that chat actually suggested to me, that gave me the idea for it. It's pretty fun, pretty cool build. It's the Barrage Spawnkiller Heavy. So basically, it's not even really a build; it's more just a thing that you can do. But basically, what you want to do is have a fairly high initiative heavy, and then at the start of the battle, you try and set up fairly close to the enemy's start position, so that you can get into a higher position than them. And then you basically run your heavy up there and set up barrage skill on the enemy's start position. So this is the barrage, heavy barrage signature skill that the heavies get. And basically what it does is it puts down a sort of globe area of effect zone, and then if any enemy player moves through that zone, they get fired upon every 3 meters that they move within the zone. So if you target it on a character, they'll probably only get one shot before they exit the zone. But if you put it on a walkway or somewhere where the character has to walk through it, they can get 2 or 3 hits on that character before they can exit that zone, or maybe even 4. So basically, the idea is that you get a heavy weapon, you set it up right on the character's starting position. They won't have any buffs or anything. As soon as they activate the character and move through your heavy barrage, they'll take like multiple shots, and because their whole team will have to move through that spot, basically your heavy can just keep firing until their weapon runs out of ammunition or gets broken. So that's pretty much it. You don't even really need a build to do it, but I've made a build specifically for it here, which is actually pretty. I might actually use this one or something very similar to it. But yeah, there's a few different aspects to it. So the first part of it is that you want to beat them in initiative, and normally a heavy doesn't have very high initiative because the autocannon, like for example that he's using here, or a las cannon, gives you a malice to your initiative. So if you look in here, we look at this weapon. There you go, initiative minus 50. So initiative is going to be quite low. But what you can do is just unequip that. You should put that in his backpack, and then all of a sudden his initiative's gone up quite a bit higher. If we look in here, his initiative is now 140 initiative. What we've done here is we've also chosen this skill, Swift Shooter. If you're wielding a one-handed ranged weapon, then your initiative goes up by another plus 30. So if we just get a ranged weapon and put that in his hand. Okay, so now I don't know if that's going to display. Yeah, so you get minus 10 for equipping a pistol, and then plus 30 for the skill. So his now initiative is 160. So pretty much no one's going to have higher initiative than 160. So this guy's going to get to run out first and set up wherever he wants before any of the enemy players gets to have a turn. And this is a heavy, by the way. So the other thing as well is if you want to take heavy-footed, which is quite a good skill for heavies, it gives them minus 30% cost, 35% cost to their shoot skill, but it gives them minus 20% to their movement, minus 20 movement, when they've got a heavy weapon equipped. So basically what you can do is run out with the pistol. The heavy, if you've got this equipped at the start of the battle, then you'll still have your full movement, and then when you set up, you should change back to your heavy weapon, but you've already used your movement, so it doesn't hurt you at all. So anyway, Swift Shooter gets you the initiative, right? And then what you want to do, then you also have to have, excuse me, and you also take tune up. So you're going to set up and then you're going to keep firing. So you want to have as many sort of damage boosters on your character at the start of the battle as you can. So you want to use tune up to tune up to give you plus 25 hit precision with active ranged weapons. So you've got to do this after you change to your heavy weapon, because it's only with active ranged weapons. So you run into position, then you use this. That's going to give you plus 25 on your heavy weapon. Then you're going to want to do readiness, gives you plus 15% range precision. And then this skill, reinforce. Basically, the point of that is that when you do your tune-up, it gives you minus 35% cost of heavy barrage. Sorry, I can't talk. So basically, it says here that barrage costs 30 action points, but it actually costs 45. I don't know, that's in-game, so I don't know, it's just a bit of a wrong text there or something. But yeah, basically, so when you do tune up, it costs 15, but you actually save 15 because it gives you minus 35% cost to your barrage. So you basically get the tune up for free if you take this skill. And this skill also is quite useful in the battle after the initial gank, if after you're initially spawn killing them, when you keep using this character during the battle. You'll quite often need to use field repair each turn, especially if you've got heavy footed, or if you've just fired a heavy barrage the previous round and it's hit a number of characters. So you're going to be using field repair pretty much every turn. So that's going to give you that's going to basically pay for itself by reducing the cost of your heavy barrage. So you can use that all throughout the whole battle. Yeah, so all this, putting all these buffs on, plus it's going to cost you 10 action points to change from your pistol to your heavy weapon, and then you still need your 45 action points. Well, it's reduced to 30 because of reinforce. You still need 30 action points, so you're not going to quite have enough action points. So you need to also take Regard, which gives you plus 15 maximum action points, and also Exertion, which can give you plus 15 action points and movement points. So with all of this set up, basically what you'll have is you'll have your normal 50 action points that you would get at the start of the battle. Then Regard will give you another 15, so you'll have 65, and then Exertion will give you another 15, so you'll have 80. Then you'll spend 15 here, then 15 for tune-up, 15 for readiness, that's 30. Then another 10 to equip your heavy weapon, that's 40. And then another 30 to set up barrage, that's 70. So that leaves you with 10 action points remaining, and you can use that in case you need to use a zip line to try to get into position above the enemy. If you need to use like 2 zip lines and a jump and whatever else, then you can actually always sacrifice either readiness or tune-up. Obviously, readiness is the one that you're trying to sacrifice first because it's only 15, whereas you want to sacrifice readiness because it's 15 ranged precision, which you don't need as much as the 25% hit precision. But anyway, usually one zip line of 10 action points should be enough to get you into position, so you can put all of these buffs on to maximize your amount of damage. As well as that, you've got Killing Spree. So if you manage to kill, so all 5 of their characters are pretty much going to have to walk through your barrage. You're probably going to run out of ammunition after the first couple, but if you're lucky enough to kill one of them, then you'll get Killing Spree, and that'll give you plus 15% range critical chance. So then you're going to be a lot more likely to kill a second one if you can get that crit chance on. So that's basically the build. I've just taken a couple of extra things on here. Iron Will is always just a generally good skill to have, and Vanguard, because you've lost 50 HP to get Regard, the Vanguard just replaces that plus a little bit extra with plus 75 max HP. You do lose 10 maximum action points, but because of this build, it's basically operating on the first turn, you don't have any action points stored up, so that's not going to have any effect on you. Normally you get 50 per turn. You have a cap of 60, so you can save up an extra 10, but because this is mainly to operate on the first turn, it doesn't matter because you won't have anything saved up. That makes sense. And also Heavy always wants to have an aura, obviously, and so you take an aura. You can also, but what I would actually, this is sort of like just a sort of a bit of a gimmicky version of the build, just to sort of show you maximizing it. But yeah, basically you want to have an aura, and if you want to do this with 3 heavies, which is probably the best way to do it, you have all 3 auras, or at least you have 2 of them with precision aura and one of them with one of the other auras. And then with Garrison or one of the other auras. So this is kind of like the way of maximizing the build as a first turn spawn killer. But if you're going to use it seriously as a build, I'd probably drop Swift Shooter, because if you just you don't need to really equip a pistol and use this to get the plus 20. Even if you just have no pistol in your hand and just have nothing equipped, then your initiative will still be quite high. 140 is going to probably be higher than all of the other fighters anyway, so you don't really need that extra 20. But yeah, if you pump alertness, it's going to give you more initiative, which is really good defensive skill as well. It gives you hit resistance, so initiative alertness is really good anyway. But otherwise, you want to pump obviously ranged aptitude and accuracy to get some more crit, just to get you maximize your chances of getting a kill, therefore getting killing frenzy and killing spree, sorry, and getting more damage. But anyway, so I'd recommend you actually drop Swift Shooter in and take Formation, which would give you extra damage mitigation throughout the battle. So yeah, Formation, this is sort of a standard skill you take on a heavy. This is just one of my other heavies, so just note that you don't take Iron Zeal, you don't take Iron Grit, because this character is set up to use Barrage all the time, not use Overwatch. So even though a lot of the skills that Orlocks have aimed towards Overwatch, this character doesn't really use Overwatch, they just always use Barrage instead. And because they're going to be quite often using tune-up or field repair on their weapon, because they're going to fire so many shots, then you Then you basically get your Barrage for 30, so it's the same sort of price. But yeah, another thing I would probably recommend doing if you wanted to make this not be so focused on the first turn spawn killing and use it more as a generalized build would be I'd probably drop rear guard, so you don't lose the 50 HP, and I'd probably take heavy footed instead. That's just a good general skill that gives you minus 35% cost to your shoot price normally. I usually take it on all of my heavies. This is it here. So yeah, that means your normal shoot, instead of being 30 with a heavy weapon, it's 19. So you can just keep using that all through the rounds. So yeah, and if you were going to, if you're going to take heavy footed, then yeah, I would drop rear guard, and you can also probably drop readiness as well. It's not really that necessary. And you can switch that out for something else as well. So I hope you enjoyed this build. It's basically a Barrage build, especially with those changes that I said towards the end of the video there. The build I initially put forward is specifically for spawn killing, but you can use the Barrage to cut off anywhere where there's a narrow area where the enemy's going to have to walk through. The Barrage is going to be really good, much superior to a normal Overwatch. So this is just a cool Barrage build. But as I said, I would normally drop Swift Shooter, drop Rear Guard, drop Readiness, and take Formation, Heavy Footed, and something else, maybe Battle Advice or another something else that's going to give you some more damage over here. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that build. Thanks guys, I'll catch you next time.